The UN's declaration of the 29th of October 2023 as the first International Day of Care and Support is testament to the work done by carers, the feminist community, and unions to promote the care agenda. At IDS, we have a long history of work specifically on unpaid care, led by Professor Deepta Chopra. Deepta, can you tell us a bit about why care is an important feminist and development issue?
Thanks, Priya. I think that in terms of, if you think about what care is, care is about meeting emotional, material, physical needs of other people. And this then makes it the cornerstone of all human activity and all welfare. So what feminists have done is kind of like tweaked and teased out the differences between the market economy and what they call the reproductive or the care economy. And we consider that care is actually the foundational element of all human welfare.
Can you tell us a bit about what brought you to studying care and what work has gone on at IDS in your own research here on care?
So we've had a long history of work in IDS on care, and I came personally to care through my own lived experiences as a mother of balancing paid work and childcare and domestic work, but also from the lived experiences of women who I was working with, where there was no artificial separation between their lives of like, here's my paid work and here's my unpaid care work. And as one of the first projects was on making care visible, and this was at a time when care was not really central to the development discourse, was a CEDA funded project. And this was the output of this, I should say, not obviously not solely, but from many other contributors, was the SDG 5.4, which was centrally on care. From that, we got funding to do a project from DFID, IDRC, and the Hewlett Foundation on how women balance their paid work with their unpaid care work in 4 countries. And the findings of this project were really, really heartbreaking, because we found not only that women were doing much more than we had even anticipated them to be doing, but also the result of that was their own mental and physical depletion, but also the burden of that being borne by young girls as well as older women. And we then took a deep dive into looking at childcare provisions in 8 countries in the Asia and Pacific region. This was a project funded by ADB, and we've just launched the report of that to look at how childcare is organized in the public sector. And we found, really evidence of childcare deserts. And finally, we're still doing this project with the UNSCAP, where we're looking at how policies can actually be made care sensitive. So we've designed 4 categories of policies, which include care services, not only care for children, adults, sick, elderly, etc., but also then the second pillar, which was care infrastructure, roads, transport, water and sanitation facilities, and then the third category of that framework is very much about care sensitive social protection, and the fourth is about employment related policies like paternity leave and parental leave and flexible working leave. So I think where we are now at in this vast trajectory is about looking at the policy focus of how we can actually make policies not only gender differentiated but actually also care sensitive.
Great, that's a really rich corpus of work with some significant triumphs along the way as well, but there's also plenty that remains to be done. So can you tell us a bit about what's next? What's the future direction of research in relation to care?
In terms of research, I think there are 2 main directions. One is very much about looking at not only women's time poverty, but also the time poverty of adolescent girls, older women, and perhaps applying the time use technology to a wider segment of population rather than just men and women. And the second aspect of it is to think about care as an organizing principle for not only paid carer movements, but also for all women's movements and all women's struggles. And that's what we're trying to do in one of our projects, which is called Sustaining Power, thinking about how women's struggles retain power and what is the role that care plays in that. I think that in terms of looking at policies, though, our focus is very much about thinking about reimagining development itself as a practice of care, and looking at how policies can be designed, and also, of course, what arguments can be used to convince policymakers, because that's not an easy thing, especially when it comes to the Ministry of Planning and the Ministry of Finance. So I think that if we are to bring care right front and center of this, of our work, we want to focus not only on the RRR approach, which talks about recognition, reduction, and redistribution of care, but really also thinking about the quality of care, so that both care providers and care receivers really get those benefits, and care becomes a central organizing principle of our societies.
Great. Thanks so much, Deepta, for the important work that you do and for sharing it with us.
Thank you, Priya.